Should I what?
Or should you go live on StreamYard? I mean,
Oh, I never went live on it. Huh.
yeah. Sure, go live and
Nothing's
we'll.
lost this time. All right, how about we hit go live? All right, well, we're 40 minutes into it before I remember to hit the go live thing. So it's live now. Let's continue.
Okay. So, from Rumi, a poem called A Community of the Spirits. There is a community of the Spirit. Join it and feel the delight of walking in the noisy streets and being the noise. Drink all your passion and be a disgrace. Close both eyes to see with the other eye. Open your hand if you want to be held. Sit down in this circle. Quit acting like a wolf and feel the shepherd's love filling you. At night, your beloved wanders. Don't accept consolation. Close your mouth against food. Taste the lover's mouth in yours. You moan. She left me. He left me. 20 more will come. Be empty of worrying. Think of who created what. Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Move outside the tangle of fear thinking. Live in silence. Flow down and down in always widening rings of being. This one is called Dance, a shorter one. Dance when you're broken open. Dance when you've torn the bandage off. Dance in the middle of fighting. Dance in your blood. Dance when you're perfectly free. And the next one is called Never Give Up. When you go through a hard period, when everything seems to oppose you, when you feel you cannot even bear one more minute, never give up, because it is the time and place that the course will divert. Now is, I have such a teacher. Last night, my teacher taught me the lesson of poverty, having nothing and wanting nothing. I am a naked man standing inside a mine of rubies, clothed in red silk. I absorb the shining, and now I see the ocean. Billions of simultaneous motions moving in me. A circle of lovely, quiet people becomes the ring on my finger. Then the wind and thunder of rain on the way. I have such a teacher. Now for the snake catcher. Listen to this and hear the mystery inside. A snake catcher went into the mountains to find a snake. He wanted a friendly pet and one that would amaze audiences. But he was looking for a reptile, something that has no knowledge of friendship. It was winter. In the deep snow, he saw a frighteningly huge dead snake. He was afraid to touch it, but he did. In fact, he dragged the thing into Baghdad, hoping people would pay to see it. This is how foolish we've become. A human being is a huge mountain range. Snakes are fascinated by us, yet we sell ourselves to look at the dead snake. We are like beautiful satin used to patch burlap. Come and see the dragon I killed and hear the adventures. That's what he announced, and a large crowd came. But the dragon was not dead, just dormant. He set up his show at a crossroads. The ring of gawking people got thicker, everybody on tiptoe, men and women, noble and peasant, all packed together, unconscious of their differences. It was like the resurrection. He began to unwind the thick ropes and remove the cloth coverings he wrapped it so well in. Some little movement. The hot Iraqi sun had awoken the terrible life. The people nearest started screaming. Panic! The dragon tore easily and hungrily loose, killing many instantly. The snake catcher stood there, frozen. What have I brought out of the mountain? The snake raced against a post and crushed the man who consumed him. The snake is your animal soul. When you bring it into the hot air of your wanting energy, warmed by that and by the prospect of power and wealth, it does massive damage. Leave it in the snow mountains. Don't expect to oppose it with quietness and sweetness and wishing. The nafs don't respond to those, and they can't be killed. It takes a Moses to deal with such a beast, to lead it back and make it lie down in the snow. But there was no Moses then. Hundreds of thousands died. Okay, so tending two shops. Don't run around this world looking for a hole to hide in. There are wild beasts in every cave. If you live with mice, the cat claws will find you. The only real rest comes when you're alone with God. Live in that nowhere that you came from, even though you have an address here. That's why you see things in two ways. Sometimes you look at a person and see a cynical snake. Someone else sees a joyful lover. And you're both right. Everyone is half and half, like the black and white ox. Joseph looked ugly to his brothers and most handsome to his father. You have eyes that see from that nowhere. and eyes that judge distances, how high and how low. You own two shops, and you ran back and forth, try to close the one that's a fearful trap, getting always smaller. Checkmate this way, checkmate that. Keep open the shop where you're not selling fish hooks anymore. You are the free swimming fish. So speaking of fish, let's talk about fish. So let's see fish. That I haven't found. I was talking about how people, when they join collectives, be them religions, groups of people with a specific sexual orientation or sexual identity, people that have a certain hobby or whatnot, when the group starts to reach a certain level of success, a certain uh, uh, renown, a certain noteworthiness. And so basically, the group is like mice, and then the cats join the group. The narcissists, the deformed ones, they will seek groups of mice huddling together for some reason or another, whatever it is, and they will find the mice, and they will make the mice's life uh, terrible and hard. And so we better just be alone in God. A thirsty fish. I don't get tired of you. Don't grow weary of being compassionate toward me. All this thirst equipment must surely be tired of me. The water jar, the water carrier. I have a thirsty fish in me that can never find enough of what it's thirsty for. Show me the way to the ocean. Break these half measures, these small containers, all this fantasy and grief. Let my house be drowned in the wave that rose last night out of the courtyard, hidden in the center of my chest. Joseph fell like the moon into my well. The harvest I expected was washed away. But no matter. A fire has risen above my tombstone hat. I don't want learning or dignity or respectability. I want this music and this dawn and the warmth of your cheek against mine. The grief armies assemble, but I'm not going with them. This is how it always is when I finish a poem. A great silence overcomes me, and I wonder why I ever thought to use language. The three fish. This is the story of the lake and the three big fish that were in it. One of them intelligent, another half intelligent, and the third stupid. Some fishermen came to the edge of the lake with their nets. The three fish saw them. The intelligent fish decided at once to leave, to make the long, difficult trip to the ocean. He thought, I won't consult with these two on this. They will only weaken my resolve, because they love this place so. They call it home. Their ignorance will keep them here. When you're traveling, ask a traveler for advice, not someone whose lameness keeps him in one place. Muhammad says, love of one's country is part of the faith, but don't take that literally. Your real country is where you're heading, not where you are. Don't misread the hadith. In the ritual ablutions, according to tradition, there's a separate prayer for each body part. When you snuff water up your nose to cleanse it, beg for the scent of the Spirit. The proper prayer is, Lord, wash me. My hand has washed this part of me, but my hand can't wash my spirit. I can wash the skin, but you must wash me. A certain man used to say the wrong prayer for the wrong hole. He'd say the nose prayer when he splashed his behind. Can the odor of heaven come from our rumps? Don't be humble with fools. Don't take pride into the presence of a master. It's right to love your home place, but first ask, where is that really? The wise fish saw the man in their nets and said, I'm leaving. Ali was told a secret doctrine by Muhammad and told not to tell it. So he whispered it down the mouth of a well. Sometimes there's no one to talk to, like in this place, except for Marco. You must just sit out on your own. So the intelligent fish made its whole length a moving footprint, and like a deer the dog's chase, suffered greatly on its way, but finally made it to the edgeless safety of the sea. The half-intelligent fish thought, my guide has gone. I thought to have gone with him, but I didn't. And now I've lost my chance to escape. I wish I'd gone with him. Don't regret what happened. If it's in the past, let it go. Don't even remember it. A certain man so let's see. Back to the second fish. The half-intelligent one, he mourns the absence of his guide for a while, and then thinks, what can I do to save myself from these men and their nets? Perhaps if I pretend to be already dead, I'll belly up on the surface and float like weeds float, just giving myself totally to the water. To die before I die, as Muhammad said so. So he did that. He bobbed up and down, helpless, within arm's reach of the fisherman. Look at this. The best and biggest fish is dead. One of the men lifted him by the tail, spat on him, and threw him on the ground. He rolled all over and over and slid secretly near the water and then back in. Meanwhile, the third fish, the dumb one, was agitatedly jumping about, trying to escape with his agility and cleverness. The net, of course, finally closed around him, and as he lay in the terrible frying pan bed, he thought, if I get out of this, I'll never live again in the limits of the lake. Next time, the ocean. I'll make the infinite my home. Inside me, 100 beings. Oh, so this one is another one. Send the chaperones away. Inside me, 100 beings are putting their fingers to their lips and saying, that's enough for now. Silence is an ocean. Speech is a river. When the ocean is searching for you, don't walk to the language river. Listen to the ocean and bring your talky business to an end. Traditional words are just babbling in that present, and babbling is a substitute for sight. When you sit down beside your beloved, send the chaperones away, the old women who brought you together. When you are mature and with your love, the love letters and matchmakers seem irritating. You might read those letters, but only to teach beginners about love. One who sees grows silent. When you're with one of those, be still and quiet, unless he asks you to talk. Then draw the words out, as I do this poem with Hussam, the radiance of God. I try to stop talking, but he makes me continue. Hussam, if you are in the vision, why do you want me to say words? Maybe it's like the poet Abu Nawas, who said in Arabic, pour me some wine and talk to me about the wine. The cup is at my mouth, but my ear interrupts. I want some. Oh, ear, what you get is the heat. You turn red with this wine, but the ear says, I want more of that. The guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house, empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Another one that you might have not yet heard, tattooing in Kaswin. In Kaswin, they have a custom of tattooing themselves for good luck with the blue ink on the back of the hand, the shoulder, wherever. A certain man there goes to his barber and asks to be given a powerful, heroic blue lion on his shoulder blade. And do it with flair. I've got Leo ascending. I want plenty of blue. But as soon as the needle starts pricking, he howls, "What are you doing?" The lion. "Which limb did you start with?" "I began with the tail." "Well, leave out the tail. That lion's rump is in a bad place for me. It cuts off my wind." The barber continues. And immediately the man yells out, "Ow! Which part now?" "The ear." "Doc, let's do a lion with no ears this time." The barber shakes his head, and once more the needle, and once more the wailing. "Where are you now?" "The belly." I like a lion without a belly." The master lion maker stands for a long time with his fingers in his teeth. Finally, he throws the needle down. No one has ever been asked to do such a thing, to create a lion without a tail or a head or a stomach. God himself could not do it. Brother, stand the pain. Escape the poison of your impulses. The sky will bow to your beauty if you do. Learn to light the candle. Rise with the sun. Turn away from the cave of your sleeping. That way a thorn expands to a rose. A particular glows with the universal. What is it to praise? Make yourself particles. What is it to know something of God? Burn inside that presence. Burn up. Copper melts in the healing elixir. So melt yourself in the mixture that sustains existence. You tighten your two hands together, determined not to give up saying I and we. This tightening blocks you. Spring. Again, the violet bows to the lily. Again, the rose is tearing off her gown. The green ones have come from the other world, tipsy, like the breeze up to some new foolishness. Again, near the top of the mountain, the anemone's sweet features appear. The hyacinth speaks formally to the jasmine. Peace be with you, and peace be to you, lad. Come walk with me in this meadow. Again, there are Sufis everywhere. The bud is shy, but the wind removes her vials suddenly. My friend, the friend is here, like water in the stream, like a lotus on the water. The narcissus winks at the wisteria whenever you say, and the clove to the willow, "You are the one I hope for." The willow replies, "Consider these chambers of mine yours. Welcome." The apple, "Orange, why the frown? So that those who mean harm will not see my beauty." The ringdove comes asking, Where is the friend?" With one note, the nightingale indicates the rose. Again, the season of spring has come, and the spring source rises under everything. A moon sliding from the shadows. Many things must be left unsaid because it's late. But whatever conversation we haven't had tonight, we'll have tomorrow. Where everything is music. Don't worry about saving these songs. And if one of our instruments breaks, it doesn't matter. We have fallen into the place where everything is music. The strumming and the flute notes rise into the atmosphere. And even the whole world's harp should burn up, there will still be hidden instruments playing. So the candle flickers and goes out. We have a piece of flint and a spark. The singing art is sea foam. The graceful movements come from a pearl somewhere on the ocean floor. Poems reach up like spindrift, and the edge of driftwood along the beach, wanting. They derive from a slow and powerful root that we can't see. Stop the words now. Open the window in the center of your chest and let the spirits fly in and out. Welcome everyone who joined. Thank you so much for your companionship. Please feel free to request a microphone if you guys would like to share your thoughts and your feelings in between the poems. So this next one is called A Basket of Fresh Bread. The Prophet Muhammad said, "There is no better companion on this way than what you do. Your actions will be your best friend. Or if you're cruel and selfish, your actions will be a poisonous snake that lives in your grave. But tell me, can you do the good work without a teacher? Can you even know what it is without the presence of a master?" Notice how the lowest livelihood requires some instruction. First comes knowledge, then the doing of the job, and much later, perhaps after you're dead, something grows from what you've done. Look for help and guidance in whatever craft you're learning. Look for a generous teacher, one who has absorbed the tradition he's in. Look for pearls in oyster shells. Learn technical skill from a craftsman. Whenever you meet a genuine spiritual teacher, be gentle and polite and fair with them. Ask them questions and be eager for answers. Never condescend. If a master tanner wears an old threadbare smock, that doesn't diminish his mastery. If a fine blacksmith works at the bellows in a patched apron, it doesn't affect how he bends the iron. Strip away your pride and put on humble clothes. If you want to learn theory, talk with theoreticians. That way is oral. When you learn a craft, practice it. That learning comes through the bands. If you want dervishhood, spiritual poverty and emptiness, you must be friends with a sheikh, talking about it. Reading books and doing practices don't help. Soul receives from soul that knowing. The mystery of spiritual emptiness may be living in a pilgrim's heart, and yet the knowing of it may not yet be his. Wait for the illuminating openness, as though your chest were filling with light, as when God said, "Did we not expand you?" Don't look for it outside yourself. You are the source of milk. Don't milk others. There is a milk fountain inside you. Don't walk around with an empty bucket. You have a channel into the ocean, and yet you ask for water from a little pool. Beg for that love expansion. Meditate only on that. The Quran says, "And He is with you." There is a basket of fresh bread on your head, and yet you go door to door asking for crusts. Knock on your inner door, no other, sloshing knee-deep in the river, in fresh river water. Yet you keep wanting a drink from other people's water bags. Water is everywhere around you, but you see only barriers that keep you from water. The horse is beneath the rider's thighs, and still he asks, "Where's my horse?" Right there, under you. Yes, this is a horse. But where's the horse? Can't you see? Yes, I can see. But whoever saw such a horse? Mad with thirst, he can't drink from the stream, running so close by his face. He is like a pearl on the deep bottom, wandering inside his shell. Where's the ocean? His mental questionings form the barrier. His physical eyesight bandages his knowing. Self-consciousness plugs his ears. Stay bewildered in God, and only that. Those of you who are scattered, simplify your worrying lives. There is one righteousness. Water the fruit trees, and don't water the thorns. Be generous to what nurtures the spirit and God's luminous reason light. Don't honor what causes dysentery and not adopt tumors. Don't feed both sides of yourself equally. The spirit and the body carry different loads and require different attentions. Too often, we put saddlebags on Jesus and let the doggy run loose in the pasture. Don't make the body do what the spirit does best, and don't put a big load on the spirit that the body could easily carry. Story. Amongst the companions of the Prophet, there was scarcely anyone that knew the Quran by heart, though their souls had a great desire to commit it to memory, because inasmuch as its kernel had filled with them and had reached maturity, the rinds became very thin and burst. Similarly, the shells of the walnut and the pistachio nut and the almond, when the kernel has filled them, the rind decreases. When the kernel, knowledge, increases, its rind decreases and vanishes, because the lover is consumed by his beloved. Since the quality of being sought is the opposite of seeking, the revelation and the flashing of the divine light consume the prophet with burning. When the attributes of the eternal have shone forth, then the mantle of temporality is burned. Every one that knew a quarter of the Quran by heart was hearing from the companions the words, "Great is he amongst us." To combine the outward form with such a deep inner meaning is not possible, except on the part of a mighty spiritual king. In such a mystical intoxication as his, the observance of due respect to the letter of the Quran will not be there at all, or if it can be, it is a wonder. To observe humility in the state of spiritual independence is to combine two opposites, like round and long. Truly, the staff is loved by the blind. The inwardly blind man himself is a coffer full of the Quran. He, a certain one, said, "In sooth, the blind are coffers, full of the words of the Quran and commemoration of God and work." Again, a coffer full of the Quran is better than he that is like an empty coffer in the hand. Yet again, the coffer that is empty of any load is better than the coffer that is full of mice and snakes. The sum of the matter is this: when a man has attained to union, the go-between becomes worthless to him. Since you have reached the object of your search, O elegant one, the search for knowledge has now become evil. Since you have mounted to the roofs of heaven, it would be futile to seek a ladder. After having attained to felicity, the way that leads to felicity is worthless, except for the sake of helping and teaching others. The shining mirror, which has become clear and perfect, it would be folly to apply a burnisher to it. Seated happily beside the Sultan and in favor with him, it would be disgraceful to seek letter and messenger. Reason is like an officer. Reason is like an officer when the king appears. The officer then loses his power and hides himself. Reason is the shadow cast by God. God is the sun. Stay where you are. If I can't smell the fragrance, don't come into the garden of love. If you're unwilling to undress, don't enter into the stream of truth. Stay where you are. Don't come our way. Let them sleep. those who don't feel this love pulling them like a river, those who don't drink dawn like a cup of spring water, or taking sunset like supper, those who don't want to change, let them sleep. Thus, this love is beyond the study of theology, that old trickery and hypocrisy. If you want to improve your mind that way, sleep on. I've given up on my brain, I've torn the cloth to shreds and thrown it away. If you're not completely naked, wrap your beautiful robe of words around you and sleep. Let's see. So, any words before? Or is there time, Zara, for another one?
Certainly.
Okay. An understanding of the question. Why doesn't a soul fly when it hears the call? Fish on the beach always move toward the wave sound. A falcon hears the drum and brings the quarry home. Why isn't every dervish dancing in the sun? You have escaped the cage. Your wings are stretched out. Now fly. You have slept in sheds and outbuildings so long you think you live there. How many years, like children, do we have to collect sticks and pieces of broken pottery and pretend they're valuable? Leave childhood. Go to the banquet of true human being. Split open the cultural mold. Put your head up out of the sack. Hold this book in the air with your right hand. Are you old enough to know right from left? God said to clarity, walk. To death, help them with discipline. To the soul, move into the invisible and take what's there. Don't sing the sadness anymore. Call out that you have been given.